and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
I'm Will.
And today we have an exciting episode for you guys. Now, I will say someone is a little more excited than others because she had some tea to spill, on a certain show that we'll be talking about in Ranger Things. But before we get into all of that, we will be discussing Saban and the Neo Saban era, just like we did Disney, just like we did the Disney. So we're gonna be doing that today. But before we do that, we have some Ranger Things. Well, mainly primarily just one thing.
Right? Just one.
That we want to talk about, So Lena, you watched this show, right? Tell us a little about this show and who it features and what actually happens.
Absolutely. So, if you guys haven't heard of Bling Empire, which I heavily promoted on our site and on our page and as well as my own Instagram, but it is essentially a new TV series that actually launched right on Friday the 15th, which is Will's birthday. So if y'all haven't sent him a birthday wish, go ahead and do so. I'm sure he'll love some belated wishes, belated nudes, maybe. I'm kidding.
Oh, wow. I just realized what you said.
Slide his DM. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. If y'all haven't watched Bling Empire, I heavily suggest you go ahead and do it. It is more than a reality TV show. It talks about so much more than, just like your average show. And honestly, I cried, I laughed, I cried some more, I laughed some more. I pissed myself laughing at some point. But do yourself a major favor, go watch it. I literally watched all 8 episodes in one sitting. It is that good, and I'm considering rewatching it. But Bling Empire literally follows 8 people, mainly 8 people, that are millionaire, billionaire, and one model who's not rich in any means. But he definitely does bring a lot to the group, so I think that's why they let him hang out. Kelly, she's very important. Keep that in mind. The most important thing of this entire series that I want to talk to you guys about is Andrew Gray. That's right. Y'all heard right. He's not Asian. I know that. Don't come at me. But he makes an appearance because he is in a relationship with Kelly. Andrew Gray is dating Kelly. And that is how he makes an appearance on the show. So what I'm going to actually do is I actually wrote down a bunch of paragraphs and quotes that was actually from the show directly. So this is all taken from the show. This is not me making it up. This is not me paraphrasing. This is directly from the show. And also keep in mind, I also understand that it is a reality TV show or some kind of production. So therefore there is going to be a lot of editing that's been done. And obviously certain scenes are going to make into the show that we don't see the resolution to, we don't see the behind the scene, we don't know how it got there, or we don't know the content leading up to that point. We only saw what we saw. So I just want to bear that in mind that I know this. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. So when I'm reading these quotes and and we're going to have a discussion, bear in mind that it's only what is given to us. I'm not gossiping. I'm not making up rumors. I'm not, taking things and then making it seem like it's way more than it should be. This is directly from the show itself, from how it was edited. I don't know how they edited. I don't know how much of it is left in or how much of it was taken out to obviously make the whole storyline so much more entertaining, right? So every character does their introduction, and then Kelly comes on, and this is how she introduces Andrew into the show. I'm going to read this. Y'all tell me what you think. She says, Andrew is an actor. He's most known for being the Red Power Ranger. It's such a shame that he had a helmet on most of the show. Because, look at him. I'm like, okay, girl. She's like, Andrew's very passionate. He's half Latin, half Native American. Plus, he has a great heart and he's very honest. I'm not gonna lie, when she said all this, I went, I mean, honey, did you even watch the show?
I mean, I highly doubt it.
Probably not.
Like, and then secondly, like, he was all right. I mean, he was no Leo from Lost Galaxy. I mean, just saying.
I mean, we didn't see him shirtless, so we did see him shirtless once. We did actually, but
And it wasn't
was...
the whole Leo scene, right? Like, you know,
it wasn't. It wasn't.
right?
It wasn't as epic. It was more
Right?
like, I'm just training with my shirt
Right?
off.
So I'm right. So I don't know. Like, so when you say all of this,
I mean,
was
no
like,
shade, no shade, but it's just like,
right?
I'm
No
just training with my
shade,
shirt off.
but you know, she's really boasting him here, and I'm like, okay, girl, like, I get it, he's your man, but like, come on, he wasn't all that. I mean, if you want to see all that, honey, we could introduce you to the other Red Ranger. We're just saying. And I'm sure he's probably very honest and very passionate himself too.
I mean, with some of the stuff that you're wanting that you've already said already, I'm like, yeah, he's very honest.
It talks about them. It talks about the relationship. I will start with this. This is coming from Kane. This is one of the other people that they follow. He's a billionaire. He's Singaporean. They've been friends for like about 10 years. So Kelly and Kane are very, very close. If your friends don't like your boyfriend or your significant other or your girlfriend, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. Well, this whole crew does not like Andrew. And at this point, we haven't really seen anything happen in the show that really led up to this, you know. But this is what Kane says before we even saw any drama happen. And I thought that was kind of funny. He said, and I quote, "I've known Kelly for years, and she is always having issue with Andrew. Always. It's always like a roller coaster. I don't know. I mean, is it the makeup sex that's great?" End quote. And I was thinking the same thing. Because I'm going, did she say passionate? Does she really mean passionate as well? And that's why she's sticking around? I don't know.
Who don't like good? I mean, listen. Who don't? I mean,
but when it's attached to a toxic person.
I mean, to be truthfully honest, that's why people be stuck. A lot of times, that's why some people be stuck because,
yeah.
Oh,
good will make you dumb. Good will make you dumb.
It's funny that you mentioned, like, you know, like, like, you know, when you're getting a good, right? One of their friend Anna literally said, "No dick is that good."
Oh.
And she was talking about Andrew. This is how Kelly answers him. And I just thought, wow, girl, wow. Kelly says, and I quote, "He doesn't sleep around and, you know, all that kind of stuff." End quote. So then, like, obviously at that point, Kevin's like, that's just the basic stuff. Like, what else? Like, why else are you with him, right? And obviously she has no other reasoning as to be with him other than the fact that he's honest, he's loyal, he doesn't sleep around. And she's like, well, half of like Beverly Hills and LA, like everyone sleeps around. And we're like, not true. And then Kevin's sitting there being like, if that's all you need, you know, I'm loyal, I won't sleep around, and I'm honest.
Does she actually like him, I wonder?
But at some point he does say, like, she's my best friend, she's my partner in crime. And she never says that about him. But she does say, like, she obviously cares a lot about him and that she loves him, but that's it. And you're absolutely right. Like, she doesn't ever specify why she likes him. She never, like, narrows down as to, like, well, these are the reasons why I like him, and these are the reasons why it has to be him and nobody else. You know what I mean? Like, nothing that she said, that's what her friends were pointing out. Nothing that she said was special. Nothing that she said was like, oh my God, you can only find that in Andrew Gray. Like, everything she was basically saying was like, literally every guy who literally wants to be serious with you will do for you. He won't sleep around. He will be honest with you. And that's it. You know, like, that's all she was really looking for. So Andrew and Anna decides to get together and surprise Kelly by taking her to Paris for her birthday. We can only assume that was for the weekend or maybe for the week, but they never actually specify how long they were in Paris for. But while they're in Paris, they're doing their thing, and Kelly and Anna were shopping when Andrew calls. He was like calling her up, he was blowing up her phone, he was texting her, he was doing all of this. And Kelly goes and says, and I quote, Andrew just texted me and he is so upset that we left him. I was like, you were sleeping and didn't know we were leaving. End quote. And so that's when like she basically was like, well, you seem like you were sleepy, you were grumpy, and you were napping. So I'm not gonna wake you up. I'm just gonna let you sleep since you were sleeping. Let you catch up on your rest. I'm just gonna catch up with my friend, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna do something else. Like that's what I assume. I don't see anything wrong with her with what she did, but apparently Andrew saw everything wrong with what she did, because that's when he calls, and she picks up the phone, and he literally yells into the phone, and I quote, "What the fuck is going on?" And she was like, well, what do you mean? What's going on with you? Right? And he's like, your lack of effort drives me fucking crazy because you can easily say, I'm not going to leave this hotel until I let Andrew know.
Even then, again, that doesn't matter. Like, I mean, she's a grown woman. Like, if she wants to leave, she can leave.
Right? Exactly. Plus, it's her birthday. Like, it's her birthday trip. Like, what the fuck,
What?
Right? It's
if
her
she
birthday.
Wants to leave, she can leave. Like, I mean, hell, even if it wasn't her birthday, like, if she want to leave, she can leave. Like, what? She got, what, she need permission? She need permission to leave the house? Like.
Right? And that's when I got a hint that he was controlling. I was like, this guy is controlling. What the fuck? So then he screams into the phone again. He goes, would you want me to do that to you? Yes or no? Yes or no? I don't want anything but a yes or no. And she's just like, I wouldn't care.
But right,
so,
like, yes.
Like, she's like, I wouldn't care, right? So he's like, so Andrew goes and says, yes or no. Keep it simple. You think you're funny? I'm upset. I don't fucking treat you like sorry. I'm getting the quote wrong. He said, I'm upset. I don't fucking treat you that way. End quote. And she just went, okay, bye. I'm going to hang up. And she does.
Well, good on her for that.
And that's what pisses me off. Because I'm like, it seems like to me, she knows that he's toxic. She knows that he's in like this weird episode drama, like whatever, right? So she knows that how he's treating her, it's not right. She knows that. She's aware of that. So it makes me wonder, like, why the fuck are you still with him then? If you know all this, you know how he is, you know he's controlling.
That sounds like really toxic.
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, like I mean, like I said, she's a grown woman, so if she wants to leave the house, like she can. I mean, does she need to have permission to go to the bathroom? Like, I mean, I'm really concerned here. But what else happens? Like, so what's the tea? What's going on?
They lead into the whole couple therapy thing. They want to try to work it out.
Screw couples therapy. He needs therapy on his own.
But they're what looks like a dinner date with Andrew, Kevin. Remember, Kevin likes Kelly, and Kane. So the three of them are having dinner. They're, shooting the shit out of nowhere. Kane goes, so Kelly's been complaining that she's not getting enough anal sex.
Oh my God. What?
I'm sorry, what?
And Andrew's like, you heard me right, you guys, all of you, including Will and Brennan, you all heard me. Kelly's been complaining that she hasn't been getting enough anal sex.
And then what was his reaction?
I mean, listen, some people, they like it. They like it in certain places more than others. And hey, listen, if that's what she wants, then that's what she deserves. Hello.
Honey,
everybody,
that's what I'm trying to say. Right? So Andrew's looking uncomfortable.
Get what you want.
Paler, right? He got paler than he usually is because how he's already pale as it is. So he got paler. And he was like, why are we talking about this? So of course he's getting defensive. He's getting like annoyed. He's like, why are we talking about this? Like, why do they even care? Like, this is our private life. Why does the world need to know?
So she actually likes it herself.
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, everybody has their vices, honey.
Kane goes, well, how are you guys' relationship? So he's talking to Andrew now. And he's like, I know it was a little rocky for about a month. And literally, Andrew was giving him the, we're cool, baby. We're cool. I'm like, wow. So then at one point, he goes, we're like something along the lines of like we're like 360, right? We keep evolving, and he's like drawing like a whole circle, right? And Kevin and Kate are like, don't you want to go 180? Because like, like it's an infinity, but like you're evolving because you're evolving as it goes on. But if you're going in a circle, would you just end up back up where you started?
Mhm.
Oh God.
Good point.
So Andrew's like, no, we're 360.
Maybe it was a situation where, maybe it was a situation where he understood what he was saying, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do that all the time. When I be saying stuff and I be like, I know what I'm trying to say, and somebody go and correct me and be like, nah, don't you mean? No, I know what I'm trying to say. Don't tell me. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me that this is what I'm trying to say, because I know what I'm trying to say, even though I be wrong.
Wow.
But still, like, I be like, don't tell me what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm trying to say. And,
well,
maybe
boy,
that wasn't what it is. I don't know.
All I got to say is that he wasn't even confident in his own answer. So at least if you're confident in your answer, I give you kudos. Like at least like
now,
you
see,
can
I can't
convince
help him
me.
with that one.
Right, you see? Like, I know exactly what you mean, because I'm the same way. I'll say something, people are like, no, honey, that's not how it goes. I'll be like, well, if you know what I'm saying, then why are you correcting me? If you know, then you know.
Exactly.
That
be my thing. I'd be like, well, why are you correcting me if you know what I'm talking about? Like,
right?
Don't do that.
Right?
You're just trying to make me look dumb.
And the therapist actually points something out. So she said, she thinks that, like, so Kelly was like, oh, whenever we get into like a situation like this, he wants to hear, I'm sorry and I love you, right? And Andrew goes and says, yes, that's what I need. And to me, it's a lack of effort, love, and compassion, empathy for the other person. It dawned on the therapist that he is relating everything to his childhood memories and how he was treated. So he's he's like taking everything as a rejection. So when like Kelly was quote unquote abandoned him, he sees as rejection that his parents weren't there to comfort him. Like he has, so he needs Kelly to be like essentially his mama, which is kind of gross and creepy at the same time. So we find out that he's got deep ass issues. He wants, obviously, like every time they get to the fight, he wants Kelly to be like, I love you, I'm sorry, and that's it, right? And she was like, at first I was doing that, but then I realized I was only enabling him, right? So then it wasn't getting any better. So she obviously had to start standing her ground. And the other thing too that she said that was kind of interesting was, I think at one point she couldn't handle him anymore. So she texted his mom for help. She never responded. And when she finally did respond, she's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I can't deal with this.
Oh,
wow. Yeah. So sorry, that was a really long let up, but these are just some little scenes I want to tell you before we got to the deeper issues. Realistically, he needs to work on himself before being in a relationship, because it seems like he's using Kelly. He's actually just leeching onto her because she's the person that he can find right now that's giving him everything that he seeks in comfort, which I feel like it's a lot, especially since like he's got a lot of mommy daddy issues, that she can't do that for you. She's your girlfriend. She's not your mom. She's not your dad. She's not someone that needs to comfort you. She's someone that you're supposed to build a life with. She's someone that you're supposed to be a partner with. Leading up to this point, she had expressed that she wanted separation, which I thought was interesting. And so she wanted separation. So she officially kicked him out of the house. So he had to move out on his own and find his own place and all that stuff, right? And while he was doing that too, one of the things that like Kane brought up too that I thought was interesting was, he was like, oh, like this is not for reals. Like they do this all the time. Apparently they fight very, very constantly, and they break up like once a week and they get back together. Then they do it all over again. So it's like a whole vicious cycle. So I guess in Andrew's mind, the 360 works.
Wow. Wow.
Oh
That's not good.
No, it's not. Kelly does end up seeing him a few times because like they do share a dog together, Kilo. So she would obviously bring him up for play dates with Andrew and all that stuff. And at one point he came over, and guess what happened? They made out. I'm just like,
more anal.
You're back to maybe that's what it is. Like every time he has to make it up to her, he's like, I know what she wants. Let's give her that anal.
Wow.
We love it.
Right? So towards the end of the season, one of their friends, Cherise and Jesse, had a 100-day party for their baby. So Cherise was like, you know what? I had enough of this. I'm gonna propose to I'm gonna propose. So she proposes at the party, which I thought was really risky because it's in front of all their friends. And if he said no, it would have been like a bad situation. A bad situation. Luckily, he said yes, but he took like forever to say yes. I thought he was gonna say no. But anyways, the reason why I brought this up was because by the end of the party, Kelly was all like, just seeing their love and seeing how much they love each other also made me realize that it's so hard to find somebody. And then she wears this gorgeous dress, goes running to Andrew Gray. That was the end of season 1, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You dead ass just tell me that you can't find nobody in LA. Meanwhile, Kevin has been like stringing for you this whole time. He wants to be with you."
Wow. This is a lot.
A lot.
Ooh, this is a lot.
Yep.
Wow. Ooh, well, we talked about a lot of things, Andrew. We talked about Andrew with his relationship problems, and we also talked about some anal. Speaking of anal, so Neil Saban.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Segue.
I have been on a roll with these segues lately. Happy 2021. Neil Saban hasn't been anal. It hasn't.
A very small amount.
I mean, you know what? I will say this. Saban, for me, was a decent season. Like, it was nice to see little snippets of Mighty Morphin again. It was decent. I'm not saying it was like the best out of all the ones we're talking about. In my opinion, that was a decenter one.
Listen, and Lena brings up a really good point. For everybody, everybody has their different tastes, and everybody has their different things that they see in certain things, and that they see in the show that they can hold on to and they can gravitate to. Now, for her, Samurai wasn't anal. However, for us,
or should we say that it's what comes out of the anal? Oh God, no, that just.
Which one is the most analist for you guys? Is
wow.
that even a word?
I mean, listen. If I wanted to say which one is the most, it would definitely have to be Ninja Steel.
Ninja Steel for me too. What about you, Will?
What about the faceless, just nothing that was Megaforce?
Listen, I would take Megaforce any day.
And you know what? I'm feeling that way because I legitimately watched like two episodes of Megaforce.
I mean, hey, that's fair. That is fair. That is fair. Listen, I mean, now I'm not gonna lie to you. As far as Megaforce, to me, the thing is, I will say this. Megaforce had a lot of issues with just, and I mean, I say that. I say that in all shade. They had a lot of issues, but the thing is, I will say this. With Ninja Steel, at least they tried.
Right. I kind of did. I didn't want to say Ninja Steel because I watched a little bit of it and it wasn't good. But I really liked some of those characters.
I literally watched it and gave up. I'm sorry. And I watched Megaforce all the way through. Ninja Steel, I literally watched and gave up.
That.
Listen, I was waiting because we were still coming from a tail end of Samurai. Yeah, we were literally coming from a tail end of Samurai, and it's okay, Samurai wasn't the greatest. I mean, far from it. But on the same token, it was okay, they're just coming back, and plus they're bringing back the high school theme, which I love high school. I love high school themes. So I'm okay, they're giving us high school, and obviously the colors were very reminiscent to Mighty Morphin. And they gave us that little promo picture of them in the school by the lockers. You know what I'm saying? So I was hyped. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I was excited. So I was like, all right, well, let's see what the tea is. And so I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, this is not good, but maybe it'll get better. And then of course, what happens? The pictures of the big war, the big legendary battle comes out, and it's like, okay. And they literally came out right before season 2 premiered, right before Super Mega Force premiered. So, we're still, on maybe midway through at that point. So it's like, oh, it might actually be something. Oh, snap. I might need to tune in for season 2. I might need to tune in for Super Mega Force, right? Okay, so I did. And I'm sitting here like, this is still bad, but okay, maybe it'll get better, because
yes,
some people,
you kept telling us that. You were like, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better, it's
right?
Gonna get better. And every week I'm like, why are you putting us through this, Brennan? Why?
Listen, I was trying. Okay, I really was. I'm like, maybe it might get better. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, this is still terrible. We got some cameos. I was like, oh, this is cute. We got to see Casey. Oh my God, he was the best part. Oh my God, he had the best episode in Super Mega Force. Oh my God, this was good. Okay, all right. We getting some cute little, some cute little people coming back. All right, cool. Okay. Okay, so we're now finally getting to this legendary battle. And I'm just like,
Legend what now? Legend what battle now? Oh my God, that was
so frustrating.
And then they had the audacity to turn around and give us the legendary battle extended version, which was literally the same thing, but was missing an extra battle. And I'm like,
there was an extended
how
version?
dare you? Yes, there's a whole extended version on Netflix right now. If you want to watch it,
they put it on Netflix?
Yes.
Why?
Does it replace the regular version?
No, it doesn't. It's its own separate thing.
Oh wow!
What? Why?
Yeah, it had a moment where it showed when all the Rangers that had come back, they all had moments where they were putting their helmets on, and then Corone had a moment where she got to say, "I love being a Power Ranger," and then we saw Astronomer's head.
Yeah, you seen the Astronomer head pop on her and with the wig, and it's just like,
that was the extended version. That was the extended. I totally saw that version. I didn't realize that was the extended version.
No, that version also, because that version also featured them fighting the final boss on their own, and they actually got to use everybody's powers one last time. So each one of them got to transform into like different Rangers and use their powers to beat the guy and all that stuff. And then by that time, once that happened, once they finally defeated them, then that's when the actual fight happens with, when all the old Rangers come back and they do exactly what Will was talking about, taking off the helmets and doing all that stuff. So, but yeah, so that's the extended version.
Oh my God. Don't torture you guys. Don't torture yourself. Don't watch it, guys.
I mean, somebody might like it. I mean, I know there are plenty of Megaforce fans out there who are just like, yo, Megaforce was everything. Super Megaforce was everything to my life. I loved it. I gagged.
God.
Listen, I know they're there.
I know when I hear about these people, I always feel like it's like a fantasy. It's not real. That these people are not real. Like I don't want to believe it.
They're very much real.
No,
they're very much real.
Why, guys? Why?
And my thing is, I'm just like, listen. Like I said before, there are certain things that people love about the show, and I will say this: Megaforce did give a lot of what a lot of fans really do like. And I will say this is where I have to quote, I guess, separate myself from a certain part of the fandom, which some fans just really like just action beats. Like they just want to see the Rangers morph kick butt, and that's it. They can care less about character development. They can care less about story. They can care less about any of that stuff. They just want to see the Rangers fight, which that's exactly what Megaforce gave them. Megaforce literally gave them, I mean, especially literally Megaforce. Like Megaforce, the first half was literally just them in suit. Like they literally did absolutely nothing as teenagers. Like you rarely saw them in school. You rarely saw them doing anything teenagery. It was just the first 5 minutes. Oh, we're just hanging out, or we're talking to Mr. Burley, or we're doing whatever. And then for the next 15 minutes plus, it's they're fighting in their Ranger suits for like the whole freaking episode. So, Megaforce was literally giving those fans exactly what they wanted, and they were gagging for it. They loved it. Now, for us girls who were like, where is the story? Who are these people? Why have we not gotten an episode about Gia yet? What is going on? Like, who are these people once again? Like, for us, we were like, this show is terrible. But like I said, for those people, they loved it. They loved it. And I'm telling you, there are fans who are like, Megaforce is probably one of the best seasons in the Neo Saban era. I have heard it before. I have heard it.
So
Megaforce is their favorite.
So for me, it was I had a hard time getting through Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
I
tell us why.
I watched the whole first season of Samurai, and there were like a handful of episodes that I enjoyed. Just to take it back to how it felt, because it was so special, because we thought Power Rangers was going to be over, and then out of nowhere we got the news that Saban brought it back, and that was so exciting. And then we really got to be since social media had taken over the way that it had, we got to be a part of the casting for this season. So we got to, after we found out who was cast, and then they did Morphicon, and then I still remember the picture of the cast when they touched down in New Zealand. So I was so excited to just, because it all felt so new, and it was exciting, because who knew who knows where this is going to go. Hopefully it was going to be good. But then the way that it started, it didn't start with the first episode. It started with the third episode. That was our series premiere. That was confusing.
Which was weird, but yeah.
Yeah.
Go off.
And then like that episode was just okay. And then I can remember I enjoyed an episode. I think the episode where oh my god, what's it? Emily, where she was she did the wedding fake out. I actually like that episode. But then it was things in between, like the acting really, for me, a majority of the cast, I don't know if it was them. I don't know if it's because of how they're directed to act. It just wasn't doing anything for me. I felt a connection to Hector. I think he was really smart with how he was interacting with the fans beforehand, because it really like got us to like him, because he like knew some stuff about Power Rangers in the past, and he really was like a charismatic guy, and I liked Mike, but like basically everybody else was just kind of like, oh my god, this is rough. And it just made it really hard to get through the first season. I will say the first season was actually beautiful as far as it being in HD, and the special effects. The episode where Jaden was he was doing his sealing power, was not his sealing power, he was like doing his fire disc, and he was training all night with his spin sword, and the special effects of the fire and him whipping it around stuff, that was freaking beautiful. But
And all of their budget went into that one scene, and we never seen it look ever that good again.
Right.
Oh my god.
The gag.
man,
The
right.
gag is we never saw
Oh
it
my
ever look that beautiful again.
No,
And
never.
I appreciated the little story. Like another thing that was crazy, a former Power Ranger actually came back to be a series regular, and that was the former Cole. He wasn't Cole this time, he was Decker. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
His rivalry with Jaden was pretty cool.
Yep.
But it was just God, it just
Sorry,
mhm.
everything you say about Samurai is the reason why I liked it. Out of all of them, is the reason why I liked it too.
And then I tried with season 2. I knew we were going to get the RPM team up, if you want to call it that. But I couldn't do it. I ended up watching that, and then I was like, why did I watch this? And then oh man, like another one of the coolest things was Lauren, and she was around for such a short time that I just couldn't I think I ended up watching that back later on. And Antonio, I liked Antonio. He debuted in season 1. I actually liked him. I liked his first episode. One of the craziest I really did. I really liked him. One of the funniest things that I have ever seen on Power Rangers, and it was unintentionally funny, was in the end of his first episode, because his character and Jaden were friends as children, and they had been like separated. When he when they're reunited, is one of the most homoerotic things that I've ever seen. Oh my
I'm
god.
dead.
I think he
Wow.
you know what I'm talking about? I think
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think he just demorphed. He just demorphed after helping them. And then
Yes.
they're all excited to find out who he is. And he's like, "That's right, baby, I'm back. And I'm ready for action." And then he turned and looked at Jaden and walked over to him. And I'm like, what the hell is about to happen? And then they just start fighting each other like a martial arts session. And I'm like, okay, that was interesting.
Anal.
But
that's what's about to happen.
Right. And we're talking about anal, right?
Yeah.
Oh
anal.
man.
That's what's about to happen.
But yeah, like so.
Bum.
Oh my god. So it was a rough time watching Samurai. So when Megaforce came, I'm like, okay, Samurai was trash. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try. And the first episode was basically a rehash of Day of the Dumpster, which is kind of cute. Okay, all right, that okay. And then we later on saw that I think that was like the only like direct rehash from Mighty Morphin. I think. And then from there I watched the second episode, which was it was all right from what I can remember. And then I watched I don't think I even got through the third episode, and then I was like, okay, so this is basically Samurai. I'm good. And then I was done until Dino Charge. That was next, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I watched the legendary battle, of course, because that was a big moment. Power Rangers celebrating its 20th anniversary. That's huge. Like that's huge for any series to be celebrating 20 years. And they completely botched it. Like how the hell, and this is something we've talked about in previous episodes. How the hell do you botch something that huge and that important? The disrespect that they showed to the actors with those emails that they put out with misspelling, and it's not personal or intimate catered to each actor. It's just a mass email with freaking spelling errors. What the hell? And then to hear that it wasn't even worth it because the characters didn't do anything. So, if people are working, if people have jobs outside of acting, they have to leave work for not good pay and be gone for like a week. They're losing money, so like why even do that? That's what we heard from some of the actors. So it's like y'all botched the 20-year anniversary of Power Rangers, and I think that should have been another indication of how anal the Neo Saban era would be. But then we got Dino Charge, which actually was oh my god, a
That was
breath
a
of
decent
fresh
series.
air. Like oh my god, like that really was needed because the shit we got was terrible.
There were some major hotties on that show too.
That whole cast was gorgeous
Right?
and talented and able to show their talent.
Oh
And
yeah.
I love Dino Charge. I really do. Like that was like I felt like we had to get something good out of that time period. And thankfully that was it.
I mean, I agree to an extent. First half of you're right. Dino Charge, fabulous. I loved Dino Charge. Like, if I was to say what was the best season ever in the Neo Saban era, I would definitely say Dino Charge for sure. Because
Undoubtedly.
it like, first of all, one thing that I enjoyed about Dino Charge is the fact that they set up the world. They actually took the time. Like I will say this, I'm not so much of a fan. Like Judd Lynn sometimes, shouts out to Judd Lynn, I will give him this. Sometimes it's like, yes, you did that. It was good. It was cute. We had fun. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes it's like, ooh, child, please put your shoes on. Let's go find you a home, honey, aka Ninja Steel. So like I thoroughly enjoy I thoroughly enjoyed Dino Charge because what he did was he actually created the world itself. So like that first episode to me,
oh my god,
is on
so
par.
good.
Like it's beautiful. Like it's beautifully set up. It's perfectly set up to where we literally got exactly what is going on, why it's happening, the world, where we are, how these inner gems got here. Like we got everything. And we didn't, and it wasn't to a point where it's like, I'm bored now. Like it told it, it was exactly how long it needed to be. And then we get to, bringing in the cast, and everyone was brought in so well. Like it was just like, it was literally like looking at the inside of machinery, where like every cog, everything has its piece and everything is moving all at the same time. So like we got to see Tyler, then we get to see Chase, then we see Chase interact with Shelby, and then we see Shelby interacting with Kendall and Miss Morgan. And it's like everybody's interacting, and then we see Coda being silly, and all these moving parts moving all at the same time. And it's like, yo, this is what we want to see. Like, oh my God, like this is good. This is good stuff. And then we actually get to see a bomb first fight. Like even their first fight was great, which is actually something that doesn't traditionally happen in Power Rangers for some odd reason during the Neo Saban era. Even their first fight was great. Like Red and Pink was actually doing some bomb choreography. So I'm like, yo, like this season is going to be good. And lo and behold, it was actually a very good first season. Now that Super Dino Charge, on the other hand, ooh, child.
I still I know
you like Super Dino Charge.
Yeah,
it's
weird because I have to admit I did fall off of Dino Charge Super or Dino. Oh my god, so confusing. Dino Supercharge, Super Dino Charge season
Dino
2.
Supercharge.
Okay, I fell off of that. I think probably because of work. So when I watched it maybe like 2019, I think. I watched it in full, and I don't know. I didn't really see that much of a difference. I mean, like, I guess like some of the stories were it got kind of wacky, like we got in
Kinda
yeah like
wacky.
we got with the
Literally. Sorry
the
to interject, Will.
samurai.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to. Kinda wacky, sir. They were two different shows. Literally, the first half was a TV show. The second half was something that was completely different. Like it to me, it felt like two different shows. Like, did you feel like that, Lena, at all? Because I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
Definitely felt like two different shows because I felt like at one point we were going somewhere and then led somewhere else completely different. No connection whatsoever.
That's what I felt. I felt like that too. I felt like there was no connection between the two seasons. Like, it felt like one was like heavily story driven.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah, we really getting into this and we really tell the story. And then Dino Supercharged was like, okay, so we didn't get to do any wacky stuff in the first half. So let's just do a whole bunch of wacky shit on the second half. And they just went off the rails.
No story, no story connected. Everyone's character was sort of like like a single episode situation.
Yeah.
And like,
Tyler found his daddy in one episode. It's like, what?
Like every single episode is just something different. No connection, no story building. And that was it. Yeah. So that's what I have to say.
No, I mean, because like, just to piggyback off of that, it's like, literally, it was like, that episode where Tyler's dad comes in, there was literally nothing about it, only except for him, like, kind of at the very beginning of the episode mentioning, like he normally always did, randomly, like, you know what, Dad, I'm writing in your journal, and I know you left me all those years ago, to go somewhere, and I don't know where you went, but Daddy,
I'm not gonna
Shelby
lie,
is like, damn, you ain't coming back, but I believe you. I believe in you. And then randomly in the second episode, he just all of a sudden flips and it's like, hey, like, come on, like.
Oh my God, I'm not gonna lie, Brennan, the way you were saying that, it sounds so creepy. I know you left me all those years.
I know you left me all those years ago, but yeah, man, like, can you come back? I mean, he was literally giving us a Ryan Steele monologue.
Which I'm watching right now, and it is painful.
Like, I mean, come on now. Dude was giving us a straight up Ryan Steele VR Troopers monologue.
He
and
really
I'm
was. It sounded just like him. The way you said it, I was like, oh my God, that sounds so.
Dad, remember when you used to teach me how to do those fly kicks? In this episode, we're gonna learn why those fly kicks are important. Like, what? Like, come on.
I'm so dead. I can't. But it's so true though.
Like, that's literally exactly what Tyler turned into. And it's like, this is kind of cringy. And like, then literally Dad came back and then disappeared again. It's like, what is happening? There is no story to this. And
well, not only that, but when his dad came back, there was no real logical reason as to why he was gone to begin with.
None.
Yeah, that was not. They didn't handle that well at all. Like did you really have to leave? And then, wasn't he stayed gone because he wanted to protect Tyler, but you didn't realize that there were. Oh my God! Didn't he not realize that there were like Power Rangers now, like other Power Rangers? Despite the
no, he knew after. He knew for a while because he was watching Tyler from a distance. Yeah,
but
he knew.
What the fuck you do that for if you see he's the Red Ranger?
Yeah, remember, like, he knew. He was like, I've been watching you. I'm so proud of you. That's why when he showed up, he wasn't surprised that his son was a Ranger.
And by the way, I know I said I just watched this like maybe like a year and a half ago. It was my first time watching it for some reason. When I'm not completely familiar with something, even if I just watched it, it kind of like leaves my brain compared to like some of the earlier Power Rangers season where stuff is like burned in my brain and I haven't seen it in like a decade. It's weird. But yeah, I definitely did. I know what you guys are talking about with the second half. There was some weird shit in there. It reminded me of some of the stuff that they were giving us in Dino Charge and not Dino Charge, Samurai and Megaforce, where there were moments where it was just like over the top, just silliness. And then it's like you didn't really give us that in the first half of Dino Charge, and there was definitely more of that in Dino Supercharge than we had seen in the first season. Like oh my goodness. God,
Home
like I
Run
can't.
Coda.
Okay, that's something.
Because that
But
was
there
one of
was
the worst episodes for me. I was like, this is not real life.
but
This
there
is
was
not real life right
there
now.
was something that I liked. Something that I liked was the fact that Chase actually had a stable relationship with his girlfriend, and then so much so that uh I forgot if he trusted her to know his identity, or if he had to tell her, but like she kept the secret, and then like we even got to see her in the finale. I thought that was kind of cool that they kept that going, and I actually liked her.
Oh yeah, like that was something that they actually did right as far as leading in from the previous season into the second half. They did some things right as far as that is concerned, and even then, like as far as transferring things from the previous season into the second season, they still did that, but for the most part, they did it horribly. Because the thing was, it was like that there was just so many things that was just like, yo, like y'all could have done this way better. And my thing is, I'm guessing, I'm we're not at the writers' room, so we don't really know, what the tea is, or why certain things are happening. But my thing is this, and Power Rangers has always done this for the most part. Power Rangers love introducing random things with no rhyme or reason, which sometimes, if it's not important, it works. Like, for example, I'm gonna take it back to Mighty Morphin. The power eggs. No rhyme or reason. They're just here. Right. Okay, wonderful. If you ain't gonna actually, expound on them at any point down the line, or they're not gonna have a significant, reason for being there, wonderful. Just throw them out there, let them wash up the river, and call it a day. That's exactly what the Power Eggs did, but whatever. The inner gems, however, have a whole power that is all about that is all about manipulating time and space. That is something you need to introduce, like, all the way back at, like, the beginning of the second half of the season. Like, we should have known about that kind of power, like, way before the season finale. Like, we should have known about this way before. Like, introducing that type of MacGuffin is like that's too late. Like, to mention that on the final episode is like, that's too late. Like, it almost kind of felt like they didn't know how to end the series, and they was like, yeah, so let's just go ahead and play with time travel and say that this is in a separate dimension all the way around. Like, I mean, literally, that's what it felt like. And even though, some of them, like some of the big wigs got up on Miss Twitters and was like, well, Power Rangers is all about, the fun, telling the story and all this stuff. So them existing in a separate dimension, isn't a bad thing, and blah blah blah. No, it's bull. I'm sorry, that was bull. I had to literally like disagree and call it out. That was bull. Because it was almost kind of like you're literally just throwing that out there because you do not know how to end this series. You have no idea how to end it, and you were like, how can we, make this make sense? Oh, time travel. Like, time travel is always that magical MacGuffin to me. And I've never seen time travel done. When time travel is thrown in this way, it's normally thrown in because they don't know what to do. And I've always seen it this way. Anytime time travel is introduced as a MacGuffin, it's never done well. Like, time travel has to be something that is already key, like already a key component to the actual show for it to be done well. Like, that's just how it is. Like, time travel has to have, like, for example, Time Force. Time Force had time traveling components. They did this ever since that first episode. So that's why all these elements of manipulating time and all this stuff, and then them finding out, oh, if we stay here for too long, we might end up changing things in the year 3000. Like, all of that stuff makes sense. It tracks because the show is about time travel. Introducing time travel at the very end of the show it doesn't make sense. And that's why, for me, it felt like a cop-out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just literally felt like a cop-out, and I feel like that was another reason for them to destroy the dark energy. To me, that was the other reason for them to be like, oh, let's have a reason to destroy the dark energy, because we don't know how to get rid of it. That was my issue with Dino Supercharge. Like I said, if they had all that same energy with Dino Charge the way they did with Dino Supercharge, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it would have been good. I think it would have been just as good. But because they were like, yeah, we just want a footage burn and throw in all these wacky episodes from Kyoryuger into Dino Charge and the Dino Supercharge. Yeah, that's what we gonna do. And they dropped the ball. Unfortunately, I mean, that's really what it was. And don't even get me started on Miss Ninja Steel, child.
Well, real quick. Another thing. They criminally underutilized Kendall, Miss Morgan, especially as a ranger.
Absolutely.
She was one of my favorite parts of the season, and it was I really liked her. She was really cool. But and I shipped Tyler and Shelby, and I love Shelby too. Like, I just loved everybody on there. I think it's for me, it's kind of is reminiscent of how I felt with Turbo, because a lot of people don't like Turbo, but for me, it was the cast. Both versions of the cast I absolutely adored. So it outweighed the the negative aspects of it. So that's probably why I feel that way about the second half of Dino Charge. But yes, Ninja Steel, we gotta get there.
I mean, listen. I mean, you can feel how you feel about Turbo. All I'm gonna say is Turbo, I feel like should not be compared to anything in Neo Saban era, even Dino Supercharge. Like, nah. Like, Turbo is a gem compared to that. Like, no. I'm sorry. Like, if you were to compare it to Dino Charge, but not the Dino Supercharge. Don't do that. That's mean. That's mean. But with Ninja Steel, like, now I'm gonna tell y'all now. For those of you who listening, I have not seen all of Ninja Steel.
That's
like, so there are
me.
there are clumps of Ninja Steel that I cannot tell you about. So therefore, somebody might have to help me out with this, because I don't know. But I've only seen bits and pieces of the first half and bits and pieces of the second. Now, when it first starts, I'm not gonna now, and also too, y'all may not know this, listeners, but Lena and Will knows this. Now, they know that when Ninja Steel first came out, one thing I was very hyped for, I was not hyped for the series at all. I was not hyped for the series, but I was hyped about one thing.
Zoe.
Aside from Haley, which I loved. I love me some Haley. I gag. I live for me some Haley Hunt. But aside from Haley, one of the things I loved and I wanted so bad from Ninja Steel, that freaking communicator. I loved it.
Right.
I loved that communicator. I was
Did you ever end up getting it?
I did. Remember, I sent it to you in the chat.
Right, that's right.
I sent you a picture of
yes,
it.
I remember that. Yep, you did. Yes,
yep, I did. I was very excited to finally now own a Ninja Steel NinjaCom. I was like, oh my God, like, this is amazing.
How did you find it?
I found it on eBay actually. Someone in Japan was selling it. And I ended up buying it from them. And that was
must
the
have
only
cost
one
you a
they
fortune.
had. It didn't cost me too much. It was like $70, of course, because it was the only one they had. So they were like,
That's actually
"Oh,
not
honey,
bad
you gonna pay for it."
That's
Right.
still
They
not
were
bad.
like,
$70.
yeah, they were like, like, honey, you're gonna pay for this because it's my last one. So, you know, you're gonna
No.
pay for this. Which I was like, all right, fair. Fair. So and then also too, I think it was like $19.99 for shipping. So it came out to be
So,
about
like
like $90. Yeah.
yeah, it's still not bad actually for a communicator. I don't think I don't think Saban, Benta, they never released the communication com, did they?
They did, but they only released it overseas. They never released it in the US.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I am one of the only people in the States to have that communicator.
Look at you be boasting here.
Okay,
y'all, find out where Brennan lives and like steal that communication.
No! Don't steal it from me!
Steal it, okay, guys.
Don't do it. I might even wear it to Morphicon. Like I might even, sport it at Morphicon and be like,
honestly, if Morphicon even happens this year, at the rate that things are going.
I mean, California is literally the epicenter. So, because we have like 2 million cases.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just so y'all know, if Morphicon is still happening, I don't think I'm coming this year because I feel like it is crazy. Like it's already crazy in Canada. Crazy. And like you guys are having people dying ambulance. Like I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like it's insane. Like I was like, I checked today, and as a total as of right now, since the pandemic began, we are at 2.97 million cases. And we've had about 40 plus people die. 40 plus thousand people die.
Wow, in the state alone. Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
That is crazy.
So yeah, we are I think we are the epicenter of the United States as far as COVID goes. So I'm just like, yeah, if it happens.
Yeah.
If it happens.
I don't if it happens, but I don't think I'll be coming this year. It's so bad that even like our government won't let us do a road trip to America. We can fly to America, we just can't road trip to America.
Dang. Who knows if it may happen? I don't think I don't think it is going to happen. But hey, if it does, if COVID manages to get under control by then, who knows? But if it does,
that would be a miracle.
It would be a miracle, and I would probably wear my little, I'll probably wear my little communicator then.
And when he wears it, steal it from him.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I'm gonna make sure that I get like Velcro. Like the Velcro wrist thing like they used to do with the old morphers back in the day. And I'm gonna wear that so I can make sure this junk stays on my arm. Because nobody ain't stealing this from me.
And if you steal it, DM me.
Oh my God, you're terrible.
I will send a winner a prize.
Wow. You are terrible, Your Honor. You are really terrible. But nah, but no. So like, that was the only thing that I was hyped about because I was like, for some strange reason, I feel like this show is gonna be terrible. And lo and behold, I was right because
you were very right.
I mean, the gag was, and this is the thing. Like, okay, so check this, right? So this is how I knew the show was not going to be good, right? This is how I knew. So everything it almost kind of felt like a curse in a sense. Like it felt like the show was cursed. For me, it felt like the show was cursed because too much bad stuff was happening all at one time. So at first, when they first did the whole synopsis of Miss Ninja Steel, right? They were like, they gave the whole thing with Galvanax, and then they were like, oh yeah, and by the way, it's almost kind of like the bad guys are in the middle of kind of like what's like WWF, where they're like competing with each other to, be on the show so that they can, go and fight the Rangers. I'm like, this concept sounds really freaking cool. but I know you're gonna mess it up. And I'm sitting here thinking, now in my head at the time, all I saw was I was literally thinking of like a scenario where like maybe like one of the monsters is like, talking trash to the other monster, like, yeah, I'm gonna beat you so I can go and fight the Rangers. Yeah.
Cutting
And then the other one is
promos.
like, well, you know what? I'm gonna beat you first. And then all of a sudden he goes behind them and then like grabs a steel chair and hit him across the head or whatever.
Wow.
And then like he hits him across the head and then he knocks him out and then he hides him in the closet and then they go out and then he goes off to, the Cosmo Royale and be like, so he ain't made it. So, go ahead and throw me in. Go ahead and have me fight the Rangers. So then dude wakes up out the closet and then he goes and then he's like, yo, like you hit me across the head with a steel chair and knocked me out. Nah, we gonna go ahead and fight. So then they go ahead and they have this fight, right? And he beats him and then he goes and he's like, yeah, I won. And then they go and they fight the Rangers and then they die. That's what I was thinking. It would be something like that. You know what I'm saying? Something like you would see off of wrestling. That's what I thought, right? That's what I thought. They gave us that only on the first episode. When Benjix fought one of the Fear Cats. That was literally all we got. I'm like, what? So you mean to tell me we ain't gonna see no more monsters fighting each other? We ain't gonna see we ain't gonna see Imperious randomly, fighting King Mondo or some mess. Like we ain't gonna see nothing. Like I'm very confused right now. Like we got nothing like that. That was the first thing, right? So I was like, okay. Then of course we find out, obviously, Chance, did not become the Yellow Ranger. It was Nico. Which I was like, interesting. All right, well, we won't have two Black people on the show at one time.
Right.
That would be a wonderful thing, but we don't have that. So it's like, all right, fine. Then, when the show starts, when we actually get the show, it's just, there's so many things that just made me just scratch my head and just be like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is that? In my Cardi B voice. Like, what is that?
I remember, so for me, I think I did another, like a 2-episode thing where I was going to say, is it worth it? And there were that first episode, I really liked Sarah. And I like the hoverboard thing was so cool, but it was one of those really super duper wacky Neo Saban Power Rangers things,
Which honestly I could have dealt with. The
the
hoverboard thing I didn't mind. I really didn't. I didn't mind the hoverboard thing. It was the random. I'll tell you what I did mind. It was the having a random dog coming to school. Where the hell this dog camped out at all day?
Right.
From 7:30 to 4. Where this dog went? Because I know this dog was sitting in your truck. So what he did? Went in the truck? What's the tea?
And I remember, what else was there?
Who fed this dog?
Oh God, the Victor Monty stuff. I didn't like that.
I just wanted Monty to confess his love for Victor.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, we all know Monty was a daughter. Like, confess your love for this man. You love him. Just tell him you love him and call it a day. Like we know he
And I
probably
love
he
that
probably gonna be, closeted. We know he's a closeted man, and he's not gonna really confess his love to you out in the open.
Right.
But he may deny you in front of people. But you know what I'm saying? At least he'll be behind closed doors, being like, "Yeah, Monty, I love you. You know what I'm saying? You my one and only." You know what I'm saying?
Didn't the actor who played Monty, he confirmed, or at least his thoughts that was the case?
Well, the thing was, he confirmed that he played Monty
In that
as
way.
he was gay. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't think Monty, the character himself, was gay, but he played him that way.
Okay. Yeah. So like that. Oh my goodness, that lowbrow humor fart crap was like, I hated that. It reminded
terrible.
me, I didn't mention Spike and Samurai. That was another thing I didn't like about Samurai. Over the top, the Son of Skull, over the top, ridiculous. Did not like that. And then to go over here, I did not like Victor and Monty. The stuff that they had to do.
I was just wondering why Victor was still there. I mean, Victor looked like he was still in. He was in grad school.
Hell, you're right.
Victor looked like he belonged in grad school.
But I mean, to be fair, there are some old ass looking teenagers out there.
Or maybe he just never passed high school, so he had to keep taking it. I mean, that's the reason why he's such a bully.
After a certain point, I'm thinking that you're not allowed to go to school anymore.
I mean, you have to remember, this is a made-up fictional story.
Good points. Good point.
So maybe, they were like, yeah, you're too dumb to graduate. Stay behind.
I mean, well, apparently Victor was, I don't think he was, I don't necessarily believe Victor was dumb. I think he was lazy, but I don't think he was dumb because the dude, I mean, well, he was lazy when it came to academics, probably. But I mean, but the boy had like several trophies in the school. So I don't necessarily believe that like he was also dumb, because you have to have good grades in order to actually participate. No, they were sports trophies. But in like normal high schools, like, and I say normal in quotation marks, in normal high schools, like, you have to have good grades in order to be in these clubs. So maybe 100%. It could stand a reason that maybe he had somewhat decent grades, or he just had Monty do all the work for him, and that's how he was able to do all of this.
Or like we also seen a lot of like those American, I say American because there's always about the football or like, football, because always footballs, right? So you know how like if they do well or they play well, they win for the school, they also like the teachers also pass them as well too. I don't know. So that could be one of those situations, where the teacher's just passing him. Because like the reason why I say American, because for all you guys out there, I'm not trying to sound like, usually hockey is the Canadian thing. So it wasn't like a hockey movie. It's more like a football movie. So I find in most football movies, the coaches are always like lenient on it. If they do well, if they win for the team, then the teachers, they'll talk to their teachers, they'll get their brace fly or whatever it is that they need to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's actually very accurate, Lena. That's a very accurate thing. And to be truthfully honest with you, you're exactly right to a degree. Because depending on where you go in the US, there are football towns. Like I come from one of them. Like literally, there are football towns where it's like the biggest thing is Saturday night football with high schools or colleges or whatever the case may be. And like it's like, oh, you have the scouts come and look at you, and you have all these these people coming and being like, oh yes, my baby know how to play, honey, go ahead and hook him up with a scholarship. So you know what I'm saying, like they do all that. And mind you, most of these kids are not that intelligent, but
they're not.
It's like, hey, I'm really good at this sport, and it is what it is. Now, mind you, like I will say that there are some who are very intelligent, but they come a time it doesn't. but yeah, like I mean, and a lot of them do get passes because I've seen it myself. Like I've seen it myself plenty of times where the jocks literally are like a bag of bricks is smarter than they are. Like literally bags of bricks are way smarter than them. Like bags of bricks literally can have PhDs. And these mugs will still be like, I can't comprehend. Like, I mean, literally, they are not smart people. However, because they are like the best quarterbacks and they win in the team, they win in all the games and they bring in the team's trophies, honey, and giving them 10-10s across the board. When I step out, they all applaud. You know what I'm saying? They're giving them all the things. It's like, well, yeah, I'll pass you. I'll give you exactly what you want. So it happens all the time. However, I think that might have been a situation with Victor because a lot of those awards in that trophy case belong to him. So I think that it could stand to reason that maybe they were just passing him, or he was passing with the help of Monty. They were passing him because he was doing all the things to get the school, make the school look good. Because I mean, and also too, I don't think that Victor, even though Victor himself looked as old as we do, but
we don't even look that old. We look like we could still be in high school.
Well,
all we have to do is shave a little, dress the style, whatever that style is in high school these days. Put on a backpack.
Will, can you attest to that? Will, can you?
Have you seen me? I haven't seen my face in like 5 years. I don't know if I still look that young.
But that's what I'm saying though. Well, I don't know. I know Brennan and I. Yeah, Brennan and I could see us. I mean, like a backpack.
Shit, when we were kids, they had 30-year-olds playing high schoolers, so maybe.
But they looked like they could somewhat at least be in undergrad. I mean,
I don't think Stacey Dash looked like a teenager.
No, she did not, but she looked like she was at least in college. At least. Like, she didn't look like she had a mortgage and she went through 2 divorces. That's what she didn't look like. I mean, meanwhile, we got Victor over here looking like he done owned a business, had 2 bankruptcies, and got 2 kids. Like, come on now.
2 bankruptcies.
Come on now. I'm like, this casting though. Ooh, okay. But yeah. And I mean, just like, and that was the thing. It was just like the stories, and also too, I think that Ninja Steel also fell into the trap of Megaforce and Samurai. And that was the trap of, let's really dumb this down. Let's really dumb down our acting for the kids, for the children, and just really, just really try to make ourselves like, high energy. And it's just like, you don't need to do that because Dino Charge didn't do it and Dino Charge did well. So it's like, why are we...
And I wanted to mention one of our favorite topics with this season, the messaging, the lessons, and how fucked up they were.
Listen.
like that oh my goodness, the security guard episode,
the Sheriff Skyfire episode.
Yeah. That was some bullshit.
That episode, that was the last episode I watched from that show before I watched the finale. That was I'm not sure if it came before or after the Dimensions in Danger. I think it came after the Dimensions in Danger. I want to say it came after, but that was the last episode I watched of Ninja Steel before I saw the final episode. I was just like, I can't do this because that episode literally, like you said, it told a terrible message. Terrible. Hell, take out what's going on currently in the world. Take that out. Just take that out for just 2.5 seconds. The message itself was garbage. Oh, you should always listen to authority. Bullshit. If authority is wrong and they don't know what they're doing, why should I listen to them? Plus, not only that, but you're literally like, first of all, it's brainwashing, and it's also teaching kids that you cannot think for yourselves. But not only that, the way that security guard, that school resource officer was constantly badgering and attacking Haley, that crap almost felt personal. Because the way he was coming after her, like, first of all, this girl has been bringing this dog to school since season 1, honey. Like, you ain't seen this dog running around campus for a whole year? Are you serious, my guy? Like, you never seen this dog. Then, not only that, she's like, and I mean, she makes a valid point. She's like, I've been bringing this dog on a 10, and nobody said nothing. He's like, oh, well, really? Well, I'm just gonna add more detentions to it. Are you?
Yeah, how dare
real?
you abuse your power like that?
For real?
Oh,
right.
man.
Like, straight up power tripping. I'm like, yo, like, writers, this was a fail.
That's not good. That's not good at all.
That's not good. Like, I was literally sitting there, like, mouth agape the entire time. Like, this is not real life. Cringing. Like, literally cringing, mouth agape, just like hand on my mouth, like, this is not happening. This is not real life. And it just kept getting worse, because then literally the school resource officer gave the 2 white kids who were terrible all season. And we know these kids, and everybody knows these kids are terrible. So you mean to tell me that every teacher in this school knows that Vic and Monty are terrible students, and yet you, the school resource officer, do not know this? And you give them, hello, you give them the ability to not only have power to tell other kids what to do, but then you don't even supervise them. So these kids are just running amok through the school, just doing all sorts of reckless stuff, and you ain't did nothing. I mean, it is literally the epitome of just what the heck is happening right now. And I understand, yes, this is a kid's show. I understand, yes, it is for kids, and they really just trying to, hone in on the lesson. I get that. But at the same time, use sense in that reality. Use sense, use common sense in that reality. No one is that dumb. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I understand this is a kid's show, but nobody, even in kids shows, they still think logically.
I was about to say,
this right here ain't logic.
Yeah. Like we always say, like, kids aren't dumb, and
kids aren't dumb,
and other kid shows don't do the stupid shit.
They don't dumb down natural behavior. They don't dumb it down. Yeah, they may make fun of it. Yeah, they may make little jokes. Yes, but they don't dumb it down to that degree. I mean, it was borderline insulting. And that is the reason why, honestly, that's the reason why I said, for me, that is why I was like, when we were talking about at the very beginning, which was the worst one for us, that's why I said Ninja Steel. Because it was literally insulting to my intelligence. Now, I could deal with no characterization. I could deal with, no storylines. I could deal with, one of the best actresses on the show not getting nothing to do. I can deal with that. I can deal with that. Even though no, I can't deal with it. But yet here we are. However, this, like, the literal insulting of my intelligence, as a kid, I probably would have felt like, what the hell is this? Even as a kid, because there's things I side-eyed about Mighty Morphin. And Mighty Morphin was the prime of my childhood. And there are things I was like, yeah, no. So if I had the forethought to be like, I don't really like this, I definitely probably would have felt that way about Ninja Steel. I'm pretty sure I probably would have felt that way about Ninja Steel.
Let's talk about the Dimensions in Danger. That was the 25th anniversary episode. Let me go first. I actually
go for it.
Goodness. All right, so definitely compared to the legendary battle, which was the 20th anniversary, I thought that this was a better episode. Unfortunately, there wasn't a ton of focus or any focus on on Rangers other than Tommy that came back. It was very cool to see some Rangers for the first time since their season ended. Like Catherine, we hadn't seen since Turbo. We hadn't seen Rocky since Turbo. So over
Turbo
20
movie.
years. Turbo. No, he was in the first episode of Turbo. He graduated.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah, that was right. He did make that one cameo appearance for like 2 seconds and was like, all right, Justin, here you go. Make me proud.
Yeah.
And walked away into the sunset.
So it was really cool to see them again. It would have been lovely if they, we got a little update on what's going on in their lives. That would have been nice. But I had fun in the episode. I wish it was a 2-parter, but they squeezed a lot into the half an hour. You guys remember there was an extended version of the Tommy versus Tommy bot scene that they released online. That was
very
awesome.
well
I don't understand why that wasn't a part of the episode. That was freaking awesome.
They could have cut out all the Ninja Steel stuff and just gave us
basically. So they got they introduced the Master Morpher. Tommy has a Morpher where he's able to use every Ranger power that he's ever had. So that was really cool. We got to see the
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I thought it was cool.
No, it wasn't, because where's Cats at?
Yes. Why? Yeah.
Why she don't got one?
And
because
Rocky,
she got almost just as many suits as Tommy do. So why she ain't got one?
She has the most out of any female Ranger, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes, as a matter of fact, yes, she does. Yes. Yeah. She has the most suits out of any female Ranger, and yet
she only had the turbo powers, which is kind of weird that she would have that. But like that kind of goes to show something happened that we don't know about where former Rangers got their powers back, because there are tons of powers that were either destroyed or just passed up, and they're back for some reason. Like we saw the Falcon Zord for the first time since 1995, and it was fully functional in this episode. That was interesting. But
yes, it did not suffer from any erectile dysfunctions. It's fully functional.
Oh God. Okay. So it wasn't a picture perfect episode. It wasn't the best team up or anniversary special we've ever gotten, but I personally had a good time with it. But there definitely could have been more explanations on things, but I feel like that's the case a lot of the time with Power Rangers.
I mean, I'm sorry. We've talked about this before. My thing is, when it comes down to this thing that happened, because I'm not gonna say it was an anniversary. I just call it a thing that happened. To me, like you said, if I were to say, oh, well, that fight that got cut with Tommy, got cut down with Tommy, I honestly would have preferred to see that entire fight than to see the Ninja Steel Rangers flying on kites for like 2 minutes. I don't care. Like that whole fight scene was trash. Like and I understand that, yes, they want to showcase the, and I believe, I want to say that it was Judd Lynn that said this. I'm not sure if it was Judd Lynn or Simon Bennett, but one of them basically spoke on basically saying that they want to make sure that on these anniversary episodes, they want to make sure that the main team have all the shine because it's their season. Yeah. I hear you. But
it's their season. They have the entire season to shine. And they haven't.
Thank you.
So why can't we let the people that you're spending so much money bringing to New Zealand, wasting all their normal lives for
thank you, Lena.
Even like a 0.5.
Yeah. And I think a perfect example of how they did it right was Forever Red.
Exactly.
There was a bit of focus. Oh. Yeah, there was a bit of focus on Cole, but everybody got just about everybody got a nice little shine on their own. And compared to this, those poor people.
It was like literally, and honestly, I don't blame any actor or anybody who turned it down. It was like, I'm not coming, because it's like, why would I literally, and I see this all the time in fandom where people are like, well, they should want to come back and all this stuff. First of all,
excuse
I'm sorry.
me?
I have to say this. Yeah, because I've seen it plenty of times. People in the fandom are like, oh, they should want to come back and all this stuff. They should want to reprise their roles. Listen, now I understand that, and I hear you. I hear you on that. However, here's my thing, right? Now, say for example, I really want to pose this out here. I want to put this out here. Say for example, you run your own business, right? You run your own business. You you have your own side hustle. You have your own side gig, and you make a whole lot of money doing this hustle, right? Now, say for example, Power Rangers hits you up and say, "Hey, do you want to reprise your role?" You're like, sure, but what's in it for me? They give you a measly little bit amount of money and be like, oh, we gonna handle your airfare, all of your expenses, and we're gonna give you this small little change and you can tour all around New Zealand. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be like, no, because I can make more money doing what I'm doing here right now than what you're giving me to literally waste my time coming here and not actually making the money that I was going to make if I would have went and did whatever I was going to do. That's one thing. Now, also factor this in too. People always like to say, well, JDF is always coming back. Let me tell you why. JDF knows that they are going to give him all the things to do. Right. He is coming back to actually have stuff to do. I'm not going to come back here and I'm only going to get to say, right. Okay.
Right? And not all even
right. Tommy.
Wait, what?
Tommy.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Tommy. They're screaming for Tommy.
Yeah, well, no, not even. Oh, shit. I wasn't even just thinking about her. I was thinking about, I feel like somebody literally just said Tommy, and I can't remember which one. That was like their only line the whole episode.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, you talking about in Dimensions in Danger?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, child, I don't
like
know who said that.
literally, you come in like you just got one line.
One
If
line.
And
And you
it's
get to
like,
do some
oh,
yas.
man. It might have been. It
Oh.
might have been.
That's
But
terrible.
it was just
And you got to do some hi-yas and call it a day. Like that is a slap in the face. I would not. I'm sorry. I would not bring my happy ass back. I would be like, yep. The last time you saw me on the season finale of my season, that's the last time you're gonna see me. Period. Unless they give me something to do, I'm not coming.
I wonder if anybody was saying, you know, thank you for the offer. I'm going to decline, but if you want to use me again, but actually have something for me to do, then I'll definitely consider it.
Austin.
Oh, okay.
You're so funny. And then
literally Austin did exactly that.
Yeah. And then when he did come back, he definitely had a little bit more line.
A little bit. Like a little.
I said a little bit more line. I didn't say a lot. I said a little bit more line.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right in that. You're right in that. Yeah, he did have a little bit more lines. Like he had two more. He had two more lines.
Pretty much. Oh, he had two. Lord.
And it was like, oh, okay, all right. That thing has 6 heads. No, it has 7.
You know what? You know what I think, to be honest with you? I think they also tricked him. Because I feel like what probably happened was that when they gave him the original script, it had way more lines and way more stuff to do. And then they got him to film this, and then they're like, sucker. And then they cut it down.
I'm not going to say they did that.
I feel like
I hope they didn't do that.
Because think about it, though. Because like Austin was literally exactly what you just said. Austin's like, yo, listen, I appreciate the offer, but it has to be worth my time. And he said it in one of his YouTube videos where it's like, it has to be worth my time. You know, like exactly what he said. Like, it has to be something to, you know, give me something to do. Blah blah blah. And then he said he read the script and it was great, and that's what he agreed to come back.
Yeah.
And so led me to think, with him saying that, did that mean that the script looked fantastic? It looked like they gave him the world. It looked like they gave him basically JDF, like, you know, JDF's like situation. But then when they got to editing room, they're like, yeah, all that shit ain't gonna fit in a 23-minute episode. Cut.
That's what I think is what happened.
Cut.
That's what I think is what happened.
Right?
That's what I think is what happened. I think that exactly what you just said. I think that's what happened. They probably ended up getting him and they were like, oh, this is what we're planning on doing. And he's like, oh, snap, like this is dope. And then he ended up getting all the things ready. And then he gets down there and they're like, oh, cool. And, you know, then they're like, we got all this stuff filmed, but we're running out of time. So we're just going to just start cutting a whole bunch of stuff. And they left us with exactly what we got.
Yeah, he had 7 heads. Sorry, guys.
That's what happened.
Only 7 heads.
I think that's what happened. That thing has 6 heads.
I'm like, it would have been funny if someone goes, I'm glad you still count.
Yo, like that would have been so funny if somebody was like, yeah, no, actually it has 7. Like just like under their breath in the background. It's like, actually they have 7. Like that actually would have been funny. Like I actually would have cackled at that. But like, and that actually would have been very funny on the actual show itself. But you know,
right?
it's just like, come on, like I'm just like that reunion special, that anniversary just yeah, no.
Could have been better.
It could have been better. And you know, I'm just as far as now, granted, it is technically a part of maybe you can count it as Neo Saban, maybe. Technically, maybe. Yeah, I mean it's part Hasbro, half Neo Saban. I don't know. I don't know
I
how
mean,
far they were in the whatchamacallit.
right?
In the
You know what? I want to say because it was in the transition, I want to stick with just Neil Saban. The like I feel like with Hasbro taking it over, who knows? I mean, maybe we'll see exactly. Like, I mean, obviously, no. Let me take that back. We will see exactly what Hasbro is going to give us this year, and that will better define whether or not it's going to be Neil Saban or Hasbro, because we will see what the work is like. We will see what they give us, and then we'll compare to what we're getting.
fair.
Yeah, I actually before we started this episode, I actually was wondering is which season was like half and half this year. I thought it was Beast Morphers. No?
What do you
Yeah, it was
mean?
Beast Morphers.
Was it
Oh, I
was
see what you're saying. He was saying
yeah.
that like Ninja Steel is Neo Saban and Beast Morpher is the combination of Hasbro and Neo Saban.
So it's like our version of Wild Force, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Beast Morphers is technically kind of like Wild Force, where it was like half and half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like milk and cream.
Then technically speaking, Ninja Steel is Neo Saban.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Right,
for sure.
right.
Ninja
Oh,
Steel
we're
is
talking
Neo
about
Saban.
the Austin St. John episode, right?
Yeah, that was that. By that point, it was a little bit more Hasbro. It's I don't know.
It just depends on how far along they were while that was happening during the litigation. Like it still could have, because like a lot of the Saban people were still working during that time. Like a lot of them were still there during the production of Beast Morphers. So
well, dang, should we have talked about Beast Morphers then?
We can save that for another time.
Oh no, because you know why? If you do not want to talk about Wild Force, we're not talking about Beast Morphers.
Because I actually think, because I actually think that in this case, oh yeah, because like in this case,
by your own standards, Will.
Right?
By your own standards,
right?
Will.
It would be Saban then, right?
Well,
oh God, now I'm confused. Myself.
I'm gonna go with Lena on that and be like, yeah, nah, because you said no. So
yes, you said no. Oh well.
But does anybody have anyone else we want to add before we end this episode?
No. Well, the only I do want to say
rank them?
for you.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
if you guys want to rank them. Oh God,
yes.
you want to rank them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is very simple.
Well, who wants to go first?
Well, you go first since you suggested.
All right, and I'm not going to separate. I'm not going to separate the two
right
seasons because it's all the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do super or like whatever. We're just gonna do a straight samurai whatever.
Yeah,
right? Okay.
Yeah. Oh Lord, I'm thinking of the second one. Like what? Oh God, they were so bad. Dino Charge obviously is one. I guess because I watched because of you, I watched the second half of Ninja Steel. So I'm more familiar with it. I'll say next.
I don't know why you listen to Brennan.
I know. I don't know why either. I said that
I don't know why either.
Watch those damn episodes. So yes, okay. So Dino Charge, Ninja Steel.
Wow, you giving that second?
Ooh, child.
Oh.
Oh God.
Do you want to rank this?
No. Let him say his thing.
Samurai, then Megaforce. That was everything, right?
That was everything.
Yeah.
That was everything, child. That was everything.
Yeah.
Child. Okay. Listen. Okay.
I mean, since we're gonna go rank, let me go ahead and do mine. It's gonna be Dino Charge, Samurai. Oh, okay, fine. Has to be Ninja Steel and Mega Force, but not that like these are like has to be those ordered if I want to watch them again. Which I hope to Lord I do not. No,
Right.
no, we're not doing this. That's my ranking.
All
What about you,
right.
Brennan?
Jesus, y'all actually making me rank this. Oh, child. Can I just say Dino Charge and then just like whatever? Do I have to rank all of them?
That's what I was feeling like. That's why it was so hard.
Because I'm just like,
That's why-
poor child, do I have to rank these? But okay, fine,
Well-
I'll play along. Dino Charge. This is gonna leave a nasty taste in my mouth. Samurai. Mega
Cringe.
Force.
Oh,
Ninja Steel.
Mm.
I can't believe I just said that, but
okay, I'm surprised too. Okay,
this hurts my heart. Like I'm getting a serious case of heartburn right now.
Wow.
Like this was terrible. I cannot believe y'all just made me rank this.
I mean,
but
I was with Brendan there. We were just gonna not say anything.
Right,
Okay.
like I'm like,
okay, sure, we can rank it.
are we gonna rank it? But all right, child. All right, I guess.
You know what?
we
Now that I'm
rank it.
looking, I can't believe that's all we got for Neo Saban. That's literally all we got.
Well, you know, like they lasted for what, 2
for 2
years?
years. Yeah.
Yeah, which I didn't like that. I did not like that at all.
I didn't like that either.
I mean, same with Beast Morphers. I don't know why they did that for 2 years as well. I'm hoping that with Dino Fury, we don't do 2 years with them. Not that there's anything wrong with them. Just
I like the idea of what we originally heard, but I think it was taken out of context of a season just lasting 40 episodes, like they used to, and then it's just the same season all year.
Well, the thing is also too the idea behind, from my understanding, the idea behind, and this is all going on right here. The idea behind it, I'm guessing, is that you just have, the same cast much longer.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's one reason why they do it, and also it could be a situation of like Nickelodeon too, where they're just like, it could be a contract with them. It could be a whole bunch of things that they could be that could be the reason as to why, it's like, oh yeah, let's just make this like a 2-year long thing, which I'm just like, honestly, in a way, I can kind of deal with if it wasn't a situation where we had these long hiatuses in between. Like if it wasn't that, then I would be like, okay, cool. But because we got those hiatuses in the middle, it's just like, ooh, child, girl, please grab your shoes. Let's go find you a home, honey. Like, it is terrible. Like, I'm just like, please, like, I don't want to be looking at these people and for like 9 episodes, and then all of a sudden we having 4 months in between with nothing to do. And then all of a sudden now we back to, you know what I'm saying? Because now the thrill is gone. It's like, I don't care anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, just that whole break in between is bad. If we can just like get all 20 episodes all at one time, like, I'd be okay. I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with doing the 20 episodes a year thing. Like, that'd be fine. So, I mean,
Stupid
I don't know.
Nickelodeon.
I don't know, but the way they be breaking it up is a travesty. But yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. Once again, we are on Spotify, so if you got Spotify, go ahead and listen over there. We are on this SoundCloud, Henny. We are on YouTube. Like, so just wherever you got it, listen to us and, tell a friend. Thank you. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
I will.
And someone is getting sleepy. And have a good night.
Good night. Bye.